There is a common belief that education ends when we leave school or college. For many people, the day they receive a degree marks the end of learning. For me, it becomes the beginning. And the most important thing I ever learned, I learned long after most people had decided learning was behind them. I want to talk to you today about something the world really celebrates. Not the young genius, not the early achiever, not the person who had everything figured out at 25. I want to talk about the person who began again, quietly, without applause, because something inside them simply refused to stop. When I first began working with computers, I treated them like most people did. A machine for typing letters, maintaining records, and performing routine office work. I never imagined that one day I would spend hours trying to teach a computer to think the way I wanted to do. At first, Microsoft Excel was simply another software program. Rows, columns, numbers, nothing more. But the deeper I explored, the more I realized that Excel was not just a separate sheet. It was a language of logic, a language that rewarded patience more than talent. Every formula solved a small problem. Every mistake taught me something new. Every successful worksheet gave me confidence to attempt something more complicated. Then I discovered VBA, programming. The first time I looked at the programming window, I felt completely lost. Lines of code stretched across the screen like a foreign language. There were brackets, variables, loops, functions, and commands that made little sense. I wondered if I had made a mistake. Perhaps programming was meant for engineers. Perhaps it was too late for someone like me. Perhaps I should simply return to my familiar routine. I began learning one small concept at a time. One button, one micro, one form, one command. Then another, and another. Sometimes a tiny mistake consumed hours of my time. A missing quotation mark, an incorrect variable, a forgotten line of code. The computer never cared how hard I had worked. If the code was wrong, it simply refused to cooperate. At first, those moments frustrated me. Later, they humbled me. Programming taught me an important lesson about life. Life also works like code. Good decisions usually produce good results. Poor decisions eventually reveal themselves. Shortcuts often create bigger problems later. Patience almost always wins. Every error message became less frightening. Instead of asking, "Why isn't this working?" I started asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single change in attitude transformed learning into an adventure. Learning is not controlled by age. It is controlled by attitude. Every evening I spent experimenting with formulas or writing code reminded me that the human mind never truly becomes too old to learn. It only becomes unwilling. Then came artificial intelligence. Like many people, I initially approached it with curiosity. Could it really help people work better? Could it become a learning companion? Could it save time? But I noticed something else happening in the world. Many discussions were filled with fear. Some believed AI would replace people. Some believed it would destroy jobs. Some dismissed it as another passing trend. I chose a different question. Instead of asking, "What if AI replaces me?" I asked, "What if AI helps me become better?" That questions that question opened an entirely new world. For the first time I experienced something extraordinary. Knowledge became available 24 hours a day. Questions no longer had to wait. Ideas could be explored immediately. It felt as though I had discovered a teacher who never became tired of answering questions. Some people saw AI as competition. I saw it as companion. Not because it could think for me, but because it encouraged me to think more deeply. Some evenings after completing my office responsibilities, I would sit in front of my computer long after others had gone to sleep. The room was quiet. Outside, the world rested. Inside, ideas refused to sleep. One project led to another. One solution inspired the next. Hours passed without notice. There were no deadlines forcing me. No one paid me to learn. No examination waited. The only motivation came from within. That is perhaps the purest form of education. Learning because you genuinely want to understand. People often imagine that transformation happens in dramatic moments. A major promotion, a financial breakthrough, a life-changing opportunity. My transformation happened much more quietly. It happened while searching for better formulas, while correcting programming errors, while reading articles, while asking questions, while refusing to believe that learning belongs only to younger people. Perhaps the greatest gift of those years was not a promotion or recognition. It was the discovery of myself. I remembered something that responsibilities had quietly hidden for many years. I enjoyed creating. I enjoyed solving. I enjoyed imagining possibilities. I enjoyed building things. I enjoyed writing. I enjoyed thinking. Those parts of my personality had always excited. Life had simply kept them waiting. Today, when people ask whether it is worth learning something new after 40, I smile because I know the answer from experience. The best investment, the best investment I ever made was not a blank. The best investment I ever made was not in a bank. It was in my own mind. No markets can take away what you have learned. No inflation can reduce the value of wisdom. No financial difficulty can erase the skills you patiently develop. I may grow older with every passing year. My responsibilities may increase. My body may become slower, but I hope one thing never changes. I hope I never stop being curious, because the day curiosity dies, growth ends. And I have no intention of graduating from the school of life. There is still too much left to learn.